All right, welcome back, everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. For the time being, I'm kind of sticking with the 1 Alpha Star, 1 regular Pro Starcraft 2 commentary. So we've got another one of the Pro Starcraft 2 commentaries coming your way. And it's going to be another one of these Korean versus Korean matchups, very high level, and we're going to be having ourselves a TvP for a nice change of pace. I feel like it's been a while since I watched a really good TvP. Or maybe that's a lie, because I've been watching Nation Wars, but either way, not important. I mean, just actually commentating one. I feel like it might have been a while. But now here we are. We've got two very good players. Kind of an interesting dynamic we're going to have here, because spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's Psystorm's GuMiho. He's a Korean Terran player. Going to be playing some of his last StarCraft 2 matches, I believe, in the coming weeks, as he's set to retire and go into the military like all Korean men must do at some point. And then his opponent, formerly a very high-level Protoss player, is now back and is playing pretty darn well. And these old pros, I didn't actually say his name, Super indeed. These old pros, they're always kind of a wild factor, in a sense, when they come back from playing StarCraft 2 for a while. Like, you were really good, but then you take a break, and all of a sudden, it's kind of tough to put a pin on where the players are at. And so Super, it was like, okay, yeah, they're usually pretty good, but then they don't compete with the best of the best. Super, though, on the other hand, we had him as a last-minute replacement for a Freak of World, one of the tournaments I run. And he actually came out and played pretty darn well. He played a lot of very strong all-ins, and had some success with them. Didn't actually win, but showed some very good skill. I think he's around 6,300 MMR, which is a very high level. We take a look. Super actually runs his probe right on into GuMiho's base, and I think he's actually going to get himself a pretty decent scout. He runs up that ramp. He's going to go ahead and see that there's a reactor already building on that barracks, which is a nice scout. Confirms that it's not like a 3-rack bio play, which is actually a very good scout if you're a Protoss. All the while, GuMiho's Reaper is crossing the map here. So as this best of 3 that goes underway, yes, this is another of these best of 3s from the Adrenaline Masters. We're seeing Super play just like a very nice game here so far. He's really just checking the first few boxes that Protoss usually wants to do, defend the harassment and such, then move on from there. But oh, okay, things are already getting weird. GuMiho, he's nearing retirement, so he's just really, like, he'd go weird sometimes, but he's been going really weird this tournament. We see an armory in a Terran versus Protoss from GuMiho, which is just nuts, as a matter of fact. It's just something that's not seen. I mean, you can use it to make, like, say, Hellbats or something like that, and that's probably most likely going to be the case, as I don't believe you need it for magfield accelerators. So the armory is a bit of an interesting factor here. GuMiho bringing out a bit of odd aggression, but then we take a look back on Super's side of the map. The Reaper comes on in, it's harassing. He didn't actually have a unit in position to block this, and 2 Hellions have snuck out on the map. So Super, I kind of enjoyed his opening early on, but things could be about to turn very, very sour for the Protoss. He's putting a bit of pressure onto GuMiho with his 2 Adepts, but he is losing probes back at home in droves. Like, this is actually just game-ending damage getting done to the Protoss right now. There's the 1 Adept in the main. He's warping on a Stalker, but he just lost 11 probes to 2 Hellions, 14 probes in all. And GuMiho, he's actually going for that quick Drilling Claws build. Silly me. Completely forgetting that you need it to research Drilling Claws. Yeah, Drilling Claws is a build that we see sometimes. I saw Cure do it before. I do it every now and then. I actually did it in a LAN tournament that I played a while back. And so it's just good fun just to see a build like this come out. It's kind of not really defined in the meta, but yeah, Super actually just GG's out after that. You lose 14 probes to 2 Hellions. You do not blame the Protoss for just tapping out right there. So I really like the way that Super was playing. He just got his scout in. He saw the build. He saw the reactor, but he didn't actually see the 2 Hellions sneak out on the map. So that's a bit rough for the Protoss player. Sometimes losses like that happen in StarCraft 2, and you just gotta move on from it. Super, he is a very experienced guy. He might be kicking himself a little bit, but it's not like it's the end of the world for him. And anyway, here we are in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing for Team Storm. It's GuMiho. And up in the top left-hand side of the map, it's Super. Super. I mean, I like the way that he played there, just opening up with a few adepts and everything, but you can't let two Hellions run into your base. He did move out on the map with his adepts, which is a little bit ballsy. I do want to see Super play a straight-up PvT, though. I feel like he's got the stuff to take someone like GuMiho on. That was just a bit tough for him. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, as per the usual, if you enjoy watching these matches, if you enjoy me commentating Pro StarCraft 2, make sure to press that like button. Let's try and break 21 likes on this video. That's the goal we're setting. And of course, if you're new to the channel, you haven't ever really watched before, but you're enjoying the commentary, I implore you to press that subscribe button as I try and put out as many of these commentaries as I can. We're seeing Super. He's going to be going for a bit of a cheesy build, and this is actually just like such an in-your-face cheese versus GuMiho. It's the Protoss equivalence. It's just the one extra gateway you're going to push in with a bunch of early stalkers, and then you're just going to try and pretty much kill the Terran outright or deal mass amounts of damage. This was a very strong build at first, and it still can be strong if it's not scouted, but if the Terran like SCV scouts or something, I feel, they usually get a bit of a forewarning. And if, with this build, the Terran builds like their CC on the high ground or something, I feel they're fine. So now we take a look here. GuMiho on the map Thunderbird probably is just wanting to macro up a little bit or something like that. But Super says no. He's gonna be trying to prevent that from happening. And we take a look here. That proxy gateway is going to finish up. It is not scouted. Super actually put it in quite a risky spot because of the potential pathing that could see it. Like, if GuMiho just rallied here, mined this mineral patch, and then walked through, that wouldn't be good. And now we take a look, though. GuMiho, he kept his Reaper back at home, or he pulled his Reaper back so that he could kill off that probe that comes on in, but oh, there's going to be oh so much more coming on in. He's going to move across. He actually sees the gateway, so yeah, horrible proxy location from Super. So, but all of a sudden, he does not have much of a heads up that this is coming. The Terran player is in a lot of trouble, and usually with this build, yeah, the CC gets canceled indeed. There's really nothing that you can do as the Terran in that situation. The Stalker is going to try and push up this ramp. It did take a fair bit of damage from the Reaper. If it can get the Reaper, that would be very nice for Super. He's going to take a bit of HP, though, due to this SCV. He's going to work on the SCV building the bunker, though. Sometimes this build can just straight up kill the Terran. Some losses are going to be happening at the very least. This is damage that Super needs to get done, though. You have to hurt the Terran a lot, but oh, GuMiho, he actually gets the bunker up just barely. And with a couple more Marines coming out, he should effectively be ending this rush. He got a nice bit of damage done. I'm not sure he got enough done, though, but oh, this is so smart from Super. He places his Adept in this location. It's not quite in the right spot, though, to get the kill on the Reaper, which is a bit of a bummer. Now, we take a look. The command center is rebuilding for GuMiho, but he did lose 6 SCVs. I'd say that's enough damage to justify this build from Super. Oh, Super had probes rallying out. You want to fix that. His warp gate's about to finish. He is going to get troubled by this Reaper, though. I think he's going to have to recall or something, because this Reaper is going to be unopposed. And the one Reaper, I just played a ladder game, guys. One Reaper running amok can cause you a world of grief. Take that from my first-hand experience. We're seeing 2 probes go down already. It's probably going to get a third. I think it's pretty much guaranteed at this point. No recall from Super. He's just walking his units back, warps in a Stalker back at home. But GuMiho did identify the position that Super's in. He's going for a bit of a Widowmine drop versus his opponent. He's building up siege tanks, which is very good since it's going to be a Stalker play coming from Super. And I just feel that you got to be prepared for something like a Reaper coming across the map. I mean, Super, I think he's got a very good idea of how to play the matchup, except for the fact that he leaves himself open just like a Reaper or a couple of Hellions running into his base. You can't ignore those little things because a player like GuMiho will test you. I mean, some Terrans might not just counter with the Reaper or whatever, but it's pretty much a given. Now we take a look here. Super has his units out on the map because he wants to pressure, but all of a sudden a Widowmine drop is going down in his main base. He does identify this, though, so he is able to counter this drop. GuMiho is going to get out with the Widowmines, which is nice for him. The Stalkers, though, have come to the low ground, and GuMiho, he never secured a bunker. This command center is going to be forced off. The Stalkers, I don't know if they'll be able to get the kill. No, GuMiho is going to be able to save this, as the Siege Tank and the SCVs do a good job with that. But still a little bit dicey. The Terran player still not able to secure his natural. We're 5 minutes into the game and no natural for the Terran. This is really starting to hurt in the income portion. I mean, there's also an observer which is spotting these Widow Mines coming on in again. Stalkers actually recall to help deal with this. I love this choice from Super because he's got Blink. He recalls, perfectly splits off 2 probes, and then as a matter of fact, he actually just blinks and kills the Medivac. That is a win-win-win for Super. Nicely done. He lost a couple of probes to the Liberator, but, I mean, that is going to be forced away, and I think this is still a good spot for the Protoss. Look at this, GuMiho not even mining properly at his natural base yet. While the SCB count is alright, it's still a great economic spot for Super. He's about to have his 3rd base up. GuMiho, though, on the other hand, is gonna have stim done pretty soon, which will hurt if you're Super. As oh, nice scan from GuMiho, picks off the observer. Yeah, I think this is still a pretty good spot for Super, though, as long as he doesn't die to like a big tank bio attack. I think he's gonna be looking pretty good. I think he's probably gonna want to make an immortal after this observer and then make some charge lots, and then I'm not sure we'll be seeing GuMiho get a lot done. Another observer is moving out onto the map for GuMiho, or for Super, pardon me. It's going to see GuMiho's base. Might allow these Stalkers to blink up here. Once they blink up there, they can get to the main base. They can be a really big pain. Super, though, is going to go on the defensive. He's splitting up his Stalkers. He's kind of wondering if that Liberator is going to come back in again. So far, though, that has not been the case. And also, the fact that GuMiho hasn't killed this gateway yet is actually very nice for Super, because he's been on 2 gates this whole game, one of them being the proxied one. And now we take a look here. Super is powering up. He is getting some more gateways online. Got a bit of an Artosis pylon going on. But with his charge about to finish up, once the gateways are done, I think he's going to be in quite an alright spot. He's just really got to defend this attack, which is coming his way. We'll see if he throws anything else up. The most important thing for Super right now in the coming moments here is not to get supply blocked. It's to make sure he's warping in non-stop. The second these 5 warp gates are done, he needs to warp in a round or 2 of Zealots. And then with his Stalkers and his Zealots, he may be able to rout this Terran army. It's still going to be a bit tough to hold off, I feel. I do like the fact that he's sending out his Stalkers. He's going to try and buy time from this. All the while, he's got a Warp Prism moving across the map, but he really does need to focus on the fact that... GuMiho's coming on in with this attack right now. Liberator is harassing once again. That is going to get killed off. Gets a few probes. Nice force fields from Super. Completely locks out the Terran. GuMiho wanted to go in now, but now he's got to wait a second. There's an Immortal out, which is going to add a lot of damage to this fight. Super, I feel like he doesn't quite have enough Zealots here, though. If he gets off one more warp in his Zealots, I feel he's completely fine to defend this attack. Although now good force fields allow him to catch a few of the Marines. They push GuMiho back, and GuMiho really is wearing thin on bio. All the while, Super getting some Zealots into GuMiho's main base, which can get a lot of damage done. And I don't know if GuMiho's even going to be able to stop this. The Terran player is dropping all over the place, but Super, he managed to spare a warp in his Zealots. He's also holding off pretty well, it would seem. He's getting the rest of his Stalkers into the main base to shut this down. An offensive blink into all those Marines and Marauders is a little bit risky, but he will clean this up. He's just ransacking the main base of GuMiho. GuMiho is going to have a tough time shutting down these Zealots. The Widow Mines are going to burrow and really help out. Their shots are actually really important, but no, they don't actually kill the Prism, and GuMiho hasn't picked it off, so these Zealots are dealing mass damage. The Protoss, while this is going on, has lost 17 probes as well, but GuMiho's counterattack here is doing a ton of damage. That Prism is going to get those Zealots out of there. 17 workers dead across the board. I really feel that this favors the Protoss. Oh, the Warp Prism does get shut down, though. Nicely done by GuMiho, but there's still a very big Protoss force out on the map. The Terran player is going to have to be very vigilant here in his defense. It's going to be tough. He's busy just dropping mules, trying to get his economy going again, and all of a sudden the Protoss player's coming on in once more. These Widow Mines, one of them's gonna... No, none of them get their shot off, and that's just it. GuMiho, with those Widow Mines not firing, is just completely toast. And Super, if we update that scoreboard there, ties up the series. So well played by Super. I really liked his game there. I think he's still not playing pretty much perfectly, but he's playing at a high level. I'm enjoying the games, and that's really the most important part. As per the usual, if you, ladies and gentlemen, are enjoying the games, make sure to press that like button. We gotta wait for the loading screen, so you may as well. And here we are, though. That was not a long loading screen. Anyway, let's take a look. Psystorm's GuMiho in the top left. I mean, I like how he's been playing that game, though. Just the proxy wasn't scouted in time. It's usually a very good spot for the Protoss. I honestly don't like that build from the Protoss because it's such a commitment. GuMiho, though, I mean, or Super, though, I like his general play and his unit positioning and stuff. I feel like, and just his composition, I really enjoy that. But he still does have like a little bit of positional play, I feel, and maybe just general build choice that I kind of wonder. Like that build, I'm really not a fan of it. Like, it's so committed compared to something like the max packs. I don't know why. For those of you that are unaware, the max packs, it's an alternative to that proxy version, and it's much less committed. So I'm more of a fan of that build than I am of the Protoss one that Super went for. I want to know why that Protoss don't go for the max packs anymore. I don't understand. And it's something that I legitimately want the answer. If anyone knows, let me know. It's a pretty high level StarCraft 2 question, but I want to know the answer. Like, ask a pro player why. Tell me why. We take a look here. Reaper on the way out for GuMiho. You see the minerals here. Interesting. I'm just kind of looking at the patch positioning. Like, the far out ones are the ones with the least minerals. These are the bigger patches here. You notice something new every day as you're just watching a pretty normal opening. Cybercore first for Super. Wants to be able to get out that Adept or Stalker quickly. Shut down the Reaper. On the smaller maps, definitely the right choice, I feel. Is it like that on every map? In which the smaller mineral patches are the farther out ones? Dude, the more you know. Probe for Super, I feel, is a little bit early. I think you can wait a little bit longer than he does before he sends it in too. Like, GuMiho's Reaper is barely across the map by the time Super sends his probe on the suicide run. Anyway, though, we've got this Adept going to run right into the Reaper. That's a bit of a pain for GuMiho. Got to be extra careful with that now if the Adept manages to find it. That is dead Reaper. The Adept also going to be crossing the map now. The Cybercore first allows it to get on in here early. But then look at this. Once again for GuMiho, an Armory on the way. I completely missed the fact that it could be Drilling Claws in the last game. This game, though, definitely is going to be Drilling Claws, I feel. Now, GuMiho, Super, pardon me, this game, he's already having a much better start. He's delaying the command center of the Terran player, which is very good for the Protoss. Like, delaying a CC, killing the SCV like that is so nice, but once again, there's nothing to respond to this Reaper. Super has already lost 2 probes, which is just no good. It's no good whatsoever. An Adept and a Stalker. No wonder Super was actually able to... didn't have anything back at home to defend. It's because he was busy poking right now. And oh boy, is he getting a lot of damage done or what? This Adept and the Stalker are actually doing very well here versus this army. They're going to pick off more and more SCVs. The Stalker is dealing with these Hellions, but Super does know that these two are crossing across the map this time. They've got very low HP. The Stalker is still being a pain. 5 SCVs died for GuMiho. That really hurts. Stalkers. The one Stalker at the front is the Guardian. I mean, these are very low HP Hellions though, so Super, if he shoots the injured one, it is just dead. And GuMiho looking for an easy victory again. Not gonna find it this game. So all of a sudden, I think the spot is pretty okay for Super. Of course, there is gonna be the Drilling Clawed Widowmine drop coming his way. However, I mean, I still like. He's got himself a good economy already. As long as he doesn't take catastrophic damage to it, I think he's in a good spot. The fact that he's throwing up a third is nice too. Oh, this poor probe. Oh no, it runs into the Hellions. The Stalkers come. Save the probe! Super throws up a pylon because he doesn't want to be supply blocked and wants one at his third. He's probably going to build one there to spot drops. Now all of a sudden we see, is Super going to be prepared to deal with these speedy Widow Mines? These things burrow quick, ladies and gentlemen. Like, they just drop into the ground like no other. They're just like, oh, they land, and then all of a sudden they burrow. They're just instantaneous, pretty much. On top of that, they also cloak, which is very, very good for the Protoss. Or, I mean, for the Terran, pardon me. The Protoss player, as dealing with cloaked Widow Mines, is no fun. Like, you're basically just got to have an observer in position, and you got to get one in position pretty quick because those Widow Mines have a short cooldown. Now, there is a lot of stalkers here for Super. If he spots the drop coming in and blinks underneath it, it is dead. It'll die just like any other drop, but if its cargo gets unloaded, it is it's extra spicy Widow Mines, basically. These things are just going to burrow very quick. And there's stalkers though in position, and oh no, GuMiho! Oh, Super blinks away from that expertly, dodges out both shots. He now realizes that these things are burrowed. He should be firing up an observer, or getting an observer here ASAP. And there we go, observer's in position. The drop gets shut down. That was beautiful for Super. GuMiho can very well try this again, as he's going to be making more Widow Mines. You got the upgrade, so you may as well keep trying. And he's got some of these mines loaded up into another medivac, but Super will now be on high alert. He's building cannons in his mineral lines to help make cleaning these up easier. GuMiho, though, going to be moving in with this medivac. Hasn't been spotted. It looks like it probably was by Super. Is he repositioning his units? Yes, he is. His stalkers are in pursuit. Probes are pre-pulling at this location. There's a cannon, though. That'll shut that down. One going to be finishing in the main base. The probes are running now. Is GuMiho going to chase these probes? Oh my god. Super is clumping up all of his probes. There we go. He's splitting them. The Widow Mine, though, it does burrow. Super's going to bait that out. Well done by him. He's just got to get the observer in position now. And just the reaction to this drop, to these drops, has actually been perfect for Super. I feel like it's been a very, very good play. He's now going to be going for some Zealot counterattacks for GuMiho. I think this is the Super really wants to pick his battles here. Make sure that he doesn't just throw these Zealots away too recklessly, because you know the Terran is building bio behind this, and you know none of it's out on the map really, as he hasn't seen any out on the map. So you don't want to charge in with your Zealots too early, as the Terran player still has units to defend those. The Cyclone moving towards the third base to try and allow this to be completed. GuMiho built it on location because he felt he needed that, but there we go. We see these Zealots go in. They are going to get some damage done. However, this bio will indeed clean these up, and this is generally why you wait for the Terran to move out before you move in with the Prism. Super, though, doesn't actually want to do that. He's just going straight up for the counterattack, and I mean, this could potentially cancel the third base. Oh, the Prism, though. The Prism's going to go down, so no reinforcements for this attack. The third does get canceled, which is very nice for Super, though. I want to see Super go home, though. Like, GuMiho is a two-base Terran right now. All you have to do is defend as he's getting up towards the fourth base. And as long as he doesn't take too much damage as he shuts down another drop. Oh, by the way, the remains land in that pool. That was actually really cool. Wow, that is some detail there. The medivac remains landing in that pool. But yeah, Super realizes that GuMiho is out on the map. Or he realizes that GuMiho has two bases, and GuMiho is so all in here. Super is going to have himself an upgrade lead. He's already getting his +1 armor on the way, his +1 attacks done. GuMiho has his 1/1 on the way, but it's going to be ages before it completes. Super can already be well into his +2 by the time that's done. And with these Immortals and Zealots, I think GuMiho is going to be hard-pressed to win this game. Yeah, this one is going to be very, very rough here for GuMiho, I think. Super is going to be moving out on the map for an attack, which I think is a little bit risky. You've got yourself a good lead as the Protoss. Protoss generally has the favored late game, so I wouldn't mind him just sitting back. He sees how much bio GuMiho has with this Observer. So, and if you see that much bio, I think you gotta be like, right, the Terran's gonna do something with this. Moving out on the Stalkers, with all these Stalkers, it's a little bit risky. And the returns you're gonna get at this point in the game aren't too massive, but oh, this Zealot, gonna find this SCV. This is such a pain for GuMiho. He is so far into the game. 9.5 minutes without a completed third base really, really hurts. The observers for Super as well are so nice. He realizes that GuMiho is back at home still with the majority of his force. I think we're going to be seeing Super. Well, he's throwing up an extra Robo and a Robotics Bay now, which is nice to see, but I think we'll be seeing a 5th base relatively soon even. Maybe at this location here. He's just got such a lead as the Protoss. He's going to be pretty much saturated at this base, going to have a very good mineral income. And once he does, he's just going to be able to make units for days. He is taking his time to get into splash damage, but he is getting on into it. And his ground army is pretty darn huge. So as long as he doesn't take a terrible fight versus GuMiho's ground force, I think this is going to go well for Super. Like, he sees the army coming. He knows it's moving out towards him. He's going to try and greet this in the middle of the map. And with sentries with force fields across this ramp, this could actually be huge for Super. GuMiho cannot push across that ramp into force fields. The Marauders, they want to stem across, but it's like, what are you going to do? You're just going to get force fielded and die. You'll never breach that location. GuMiho instead is going to break down these rocks, but Super, with his observers, realizes that this attack is coming on in. He's got 2 Colossus on the way. He's got how many gateways to warp in? 8 gateways to warp in. He's counterattacking at the third base. As long as he takes like an okay fight here, this is going to be good for Super. He's out in the middle, but he has a Colossus join up. Going to add a lot of damage to this army. His +2 armor is about to finish up. His Zealots will be so much more tanky. And GuMiho is just taking damage at his third base, which is just terrible when you realize the economic state GuMiho is in. He is just getting mining at his third base. Finally. 11 minutes into the game, the Protoss player was worried there a little bit about the attack coming his way, but no. The Terran player completely backs off. We'll probably see a 5th base start for Super relatively soon. He's making a ton of observers. I'd like to see a Templar Archives. I say that, and I already see it. Great to see from Super. You want to start the Psystorm pretty darn soon, but there we go. There's the 5th base. I think I prefer this 5th base location as the Protoss because Super has an army which can take GuMiho head on. There's no question about it. So him taking the base that's more easily harassed, I think I'm not the biggest fan of, but Super is just in such a commanding position right now. He's getting up at 5th base. He's building more and more gateways, which is great to see. Going to allow him to spend his big bank after engagement. We do see, oh my gosh, GuMiho loading, unloading, burrowed Widow Mines there, just on top of the Protoss army, but most of them get picked off before that happens, and yeah, it's just GG. You know what? We're going to watch that fight again. Okay, so GuMiho, he's like, I'm gonna burrow these mines on top of the Protoss. I'm gonna unload them. But the problem is, even if they unburrow quickly, they also die very quickly. It takes them, it's just so much clicking in order to unload them and burrow them in time, and Super just crushes GuMiho's army there. The upgrades for GuMiho just completed as that fight happened, but yeah, Super just with a much better army, just a much better start of the game, and is able to take it. So ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this game, this has been Fun to Cast as best of 3. Super takes it 2-1, showing he's got good PvT. I think once he brushes up a little bit more, his PvT is going to be fantastic. But yeah, once again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to press that like button. If you're new to the channel and you made it this far into the video, go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This has been LaughNgamez.